So I want to take a moment to show you how I time block my calendar for my life and my business. Being an entrepreneur and a mom and a corporate employee is a lot. And because of this, I need to make sure that I am best using my time throughout the day, minding my mental health, taking care of my family and my child, and also still continuing to do all the things in my business that are necessary because I have a very, very, very lean team. And primarily the work of at least promoting and selling in the business is all on me. And so I am a firm believer in a few different things that I've read, books that I've read. I'll share the books in the description. One of the books that I read is Atomic Habits. And so I know that it's important to create habits and have things to remind you of the next habit. So I want to make sure that I leverage part of what I learned from Atomic Habits to make sure that I am still taking care of myself as a person so that I'm still healthy enough to get everything done in a day. I'm also a firm believer in the book 12-Week Year. It's an amazing book that talks about, instead of looking at planning as an annual activity, you look at it as a 90-day activity or 12-week activity where you are setting a very specific goal and only doing what's required and necessary to hit that goal. I like it because it also helps you to time block your schedule to account for doing the administrative tasks, focusing on one task at a time so that you get it done. Making sure that you're tracking and monitoring insights or data to tell you whether or not you did the stuff that you said was necessary, or did you focus on other random things. So you're basically being self-accountable throughout the week. And also that you are scheduling out every single part of your day so that you get things done. Lastly, I read the book Essentialism. In the book Essentialism, make sure that you focus on only the things that are necessary. If you hear a lot of these common themes, the 12-week year tells you to make sure you hit your goals by doing only what's necessary. And Essentialism tells you to focus in life on the things that are necessary, mentally and physically, in your day and throughout the month, so that you are not overwhelming yourself, so that you are healthy, so that you are not emotionally being affected by things that really aren't very important. And for someone who has a busy schedule, it's extremely important. So what you're going to see me doing is time blocking my day where I get things done for my own business as well as get things done for work. I work at a company where it's about getting the work done, not exactly how many hours you're working or when you're doing things. It's, are you doing your job, and are you doing your job well, and are you supporting your team? So I am going to show you my entire process. I put everything in a Google Calendar, and I use something to help me called 𝐓𝐈𝐌𝐄𝐒 to sync all of those calendars together. So I'm going to show you all of those things right now. So the first two tools that you're going to definitely need would be your Google Calendar. I personally use Google Calendar. I also have the Google Calendar app on my iPhone. I do not use the calendar app that came with iPhone. You know why? Because you can see these colors really nicely, and these colors of my different calendars and things are very important to my focus throughout the day. So I make sure that I have the actual app that goes with Google Calendar on my phone, which I'll show you in a second. The second tool you're going to need is something called 𝐓𝐈𝐌𝐄𝐒, if and only, well, no, not if and only if you need it. You're going to need a tool like 𝐓𝐈𝐌𝐄𝐒 to sync all of your different multicolored calendars into your primary calendar, especially if you want to get all notifications for your business and not have your kind of calendar be double booked, because unfortunately your primary calendar doesn't see all of these millions of calendars. And if you don't have something like 𝐓𝐈𝐌𝐄𝐒, then you're going to have to go into like something like Calendly and have every single calendar in there so that it sees all of them and minds your schedule based on that. But if you're someone like me who has a family calendar, you work in corporate and you run a business, you cannot afford for your calendar to not have everything synced because you will definitely be overbooked. I also used to use a CRM called 𝐓𝐈𝐌𝐿𝐿, and 𝐓𝐈𝐿 only let you sync one calendar, which was an issue because I had multiple calendars that I needed. And I think maybe they let you sync a second one, but they didn't let you sync 20 calendars. So if I had a corporate job in my business calendar, those would be the only things I could sync. So that's the first thing that I want to tell you. So Reclaim is what I'm using right now. I will share a link with you that would probably give you a discount or something. I see that I can share a link, so it'll be in the description of this video, and anybody has access to Google Calendar. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is I need you to create all of these different calendars based on what you're going to be doing. Here are the calendars that I created, and I'm going to tell you why I have them. So I have something called Revolutionary Society Co-working. I have this because I have a membership and I want people to be able to sign up for co-working, and I want to see the co-working schedule, so that would be on my calendar. I have something called Admin. As a business owner who is basically a solo entrepreneur with the exception of 2 contractors, I need to schedule time to check my email throughout the day. I don't want to check it all day long because that's going to slow me down, but I do need time to check my email, respond to emails, check on what clients are asking me inside of my communities, all of those things. Booked and Banked Accelerator, Lead Overflow, all these things that say Revolutionary Brand, these are all my program calendars. I need to make sure that I can see when I'm doing something for a specific program, so I will set those calendars. Also, I allow people to subscribe to those calendars because I want them to be able to attend the event. So I always create a separate calendar for that. Coaching, whatever your business is, if you're a designer, then you would say service providing, service. I have a coaching part of my business. I have to have days that are designated for coaching and times that are designated for people to be able to book a coaching session with me. So you will see coaching, computer stuff. I have things that are technical related, operations related that I need to do and have time to do them. So maybe I'm setting up 𝐓𝐈𝐿𝐿, maybe I'm setting up a workflow, maybe I am doing a landing page, maybe I am, setting up a new app, something like this, my calendar. So these are things that are not necessarily admin, but they are computer related. So I have time to do computer stuff. Content creation. As a business owner who has to do marketing, and I am the primary business part of the business, I'm the primary face of the business, I need time to create content, and I can't do that every single day because every single day can't be dedicated to being creative and every single day can't be dedicated to strategy. So I have days that are dedicated, or times and windows of time that's dedicated to content creation. Deadlines. I want something to look different on my calendar so that I can mind important deadlines. Like you have to do your taxes. You have to, you have to attend this event at your kid's school. So if I have anything that's like a deadline related, I have to turn this into my OBM by this time. I need to make sure that those look different. So it's always a different redder color. Get shit done. Some days I'm going to be heads down and only want to focus on just getting stuff done. So if I need a window of time, which I'm going to have a window of time where I just want to get shit done, then I'm going to get shit done during that window. Launch calendar. Because I do have a service and coaching business, I need to make sure I know when I'm launching something. So that needs to be something that's highlighted differently on my calendar. I told you about my offers. This is all myself, my husband, my child. So it's a family calendar. I need to know when I have family things going on, doctor's appointments, my husband's traveling. We have to be somewhere at my kid's school. He has a sporting event. All that stuff goes on that calendar. Meetings, team meetings have to go on this calendar. Team meetings, meetings with people, all those meetings go on this colored calendar. Personal, I want to take care of myself. Maybe I'm going to a Pilates class or meditating. Those personal things, I have a hair appointment, doctor's appointment, all of those things would go on personal. I already talked to you about different offer calendars. Self-care. hair appointment, nail appointment, massage appointment, going out with my girlfriends, those are self-care. It's different from personal because I would see personal as, you know, I have some random things that I need to do for myself, go to Target. Self-care is literally taking care of myself. Task list. I need to set windows of times or blocks of time to handle certain activities. And then the specific thing I'm going to do within that block would fall under a task list to make sure I get it done. My team has an out of office calendar, so I know when someone's not working or won't be available. So I have that. And those are my different calendars. How you create a new calendar and set colors. First of all, I have a color palette for my calendar and it just matches my business brand. I used Pinterest to create that. I think I made a Pinterest pin board for this. I tend to make private pin boards to do these types of activities. So let's go and look at it. Let's go to my account, saved. Okay, it doesn't look like I saved them, but this is what I would do. So make sure I'm looking at all pins, so it's not just my pins. And I would say warm color palette with browns and whatever your brand colors are, and then you'll get these different palettes. So I would right click and open a few of them, right click and open a few. And I would have a few that I like. You see stuff like this, which this looks very much like what I have. And basically, however many calendars I had, I wanted to have a different color, and I would just save the color palette. To do that, I have a Chrome extension called Color Pick Eyedropper. All of these are free. Click on it. Now when you hover, it gives you the code. So I can click on it. It gives you this code. So I would basically create something, and Google has this thing called Keep. And you'll see my Keep in a section. You'll see my Keep in a second. When I go into my Keep, my calendar colors are right here. So I made something called calendar colors. And then I found colors that I like. So I found some colors on Etsy apparently, and that's what I wanted. And then I just used the color dropper tool to get these colors and get the hex code. So I basically put the label of what it would be, and then I put all the colors. So this little hex code that you need is what you use. And then you set those inside your calendar, which I'm going to show you now. So you'll see I put team calendar, task list, all these things had colors. Now I always know my colors. You can get them from Pinterest like I showed you. And now you would go down to other calendars and click this plus symbol, create a new calendar, name the calendar like task list, and then create the calendar. Once you create the calendar, it shows up here for you, and then click on hover over the calendar that you just created, whatever it is, and click on the 3 vertical dots, and it says options for whatever the calendar's name is. And then you'll see existing colors, which I didn't want to use. I wanted special colors. Click on the little plus to add a custom color, and that hex code that you saved for that specific calendar is what you're going to put in here, and then it will change the color. And now you'll have a bunch of these. So now we've done all of that. And now my last job is to then time block my calendar. So I need, according to the 12-week year, you need 1 3-hour breakout session during work hours where you're only focused on whatever you want to do, and you are not doing any work in that time other than what you want to be focused on. So it's not, busy work. It's you actually reclaiming some of your time during a business hour where you're doing, maybe you go do an activity, maybe you go for a long walk, maybe you go and play tennis. It's for you to take some of that brain power back. which I think is really helpful because a lot of times we're trying to make that time in the evening, but our evenings are usually reserved for family and sleep. So you should have that time during the day where it's uninterrupted and it's during business hours. You also need 2 times in a week a 1-hour buffer for they're called buffer sessions, and it's when you would do your admin work. So I need to have 2 1-hour buffers. Now you may not need a full hour. I only would need 30 minutes for my business, but I also have a corporate job, so I need 30 minutes of buffer time to just do stuff for admin stuff for work as well. And then your Monday mornings are supposed to be reserved for you to review what you accomplished in the past week. It's a weekly WAM, weekly accountability meeting. Now, technically, you should be doing this with someone else, going over your accomplishments, but you also need those 30-minute time frames to go over what you've done and what you got to do for this upcoming week. So that's the stuff that comes from the book, The 12-Week Year. So I always make sure that I have time for those things. So it says you need 1 3-hour breakout session during work hours. I need to try to have, and you just need 1 of these in a month. So I need to find a week where I'm not busy. So I am going to look through my calendar right now. I think it might end up being like a Wednesday, because you see I have this huge block of time and it could be uninterrupted and I can kind of finish out the day. So like a Wednesday. Yeah, I like that. So I think it's going to be the last Wednesday of the month. That's what I'm going to do. I am going to take this 3-hour block of time. I'm going to click on more options, and this will be my breakout session. I want to see that it's something fun. It will be 3 hours. 3 hours. And it needs to be considered self-care. So now I selected the calendar. And I know you can't see, you see it has a little calendar symbol. This is breakout sessions are meant to prevent burnout. This is also, I'm getting this from the book. So this is the book, The 12-Week Year. And yeah, this is coming from the book. So it says breakout blocks are designed to prevent burnout and create more free time. They are 3 hours in length and should be scheduled once a week. I said that already, but I know for a fact I cannot afford that right now because I'm new in my corporate role, and it means that I'm also new to this schedule with my business where my business gets less of my time. However, the 12-Week Year book also understands that. So it says they are 3 hours in length and should be scheduled once a week after the rest of the 12-week year is working for you. So that's when you're consistent with following the practices from the book. We recommend that you only have 1 per month until everything else is working and you're executing well. So just keep that in mind. So I will figure out what I want to do, but I know that I'll have a breakout session. I can tell you right now that I will go for a hike likely during this time. If I'm playing like maybe I want to go to a Pilates class and then out for brunch. It's going to involve food, probably time with my mom, and certainly outdoors. I might ride my scooter, so it's going to be something fun. So anyway, just so you know, I'm going to schedule this, and it's going to repeat on the 4th Wednesday every single month. Perfect. Yay. Okay, there we go. So that's that. So now I have that scheduled, and now you can see it's showing up on my calendar under this personal time. So I'm going to go back to today. So I scheduled out my breakout sessions and now it's repeating every single month. So I took care of that. You also need 2 times a day, 1 hour buffer. I do need that for both corporate and myself. So I'd like to handle that first thing in the morning. I am at work no later than 9:30, so it'll be 9:30 to 10:30 for me to, that's going to be my first one in the day. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to click on more options, and this is going to be called buffer session. It will repeat every weekday. And the task that I'm going to do is check email, respond to emails, respond to Slack, reply, check membership community, and respond to any comments, questions, or feedback. I also will check social media to respond to any DMs or comments. Okay. And yeah, that's all I would do in this time frame. So 30 minutes of that time will be, do this so I can have notes for myself. 30 minutes for Atelier Letitia, and then 30 minutes for corporate. And then I'm going to make sure that the calendar that it's on is admin. And there we go. So I have buffer time every day from 9:30 to 10:30. No one can bother me. It's considered busy. Save. So right now you saw me say what I'm going to do in that time frame just so I can remember. However, I would use task list to designate what I'm going to do in that time. So I'll show you that soon. Right now, I'm just focused on time blocking. And what your time blocking is things that you need to get done. I also need to designate certain days to do certain activities. So I'm going to click event, more options. Mondays for me will probably be an editing day. I was going to record stuff on Mondays, but I'm not home on Mondays. So I'm going to do a little video, simple. And then I'm going to call recording day. So what I'll see at the top of my calendar is today is a recording day. So I know that I need to look like something because I'm on camera. Mondays will be copywriting day. I'm looking at something, I kind of already wrote down in like a notebook what these days need to be. So I'm going to do create, event, more options. And then I'm going to do the little pencil symbol. And this will be writing day. Now I need an editing day, which apparently is going to be Wednesday. So I'm going to do event, more options, edit. Let's see here. Do that. Editing day. Thursdays is going to be for creating graphics, and Fridays is for tech and scheduling. So I'm going to just add those things. Event, more options. I'm going to do a little art. And then lastly, I'm going to do more options. And this is going to be computer. It's a tech day. Tech day. So now I know these things have to be scheduled on these particular days. Now I'm going to time block when those things are going to get done. I need to be mindful of my calendar for work. So I'm looking at that now to make sure, and I can see that I typically have these same meetings, and those are most of my meetings. People need to be able to meet with me on certain days. I'd prefer, because I'm recording on Tuesdays, for people not to meet with me on Tuesdays. So I'm definitely going to block off most of my calendar on Tuesdays because I'll be home, and also on Fridays. I don't want people to book things with me. So that means Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, a lot of my corporate work will need to be done. So I know that if Monday is a writing day, I need time to do this writing. And that means I'm also going to be writing for corporate. I know that every day I also need a lunch break. So typically people won't be interrupting this time. So I am going to drag this here. And then I'm going to edit this to be weekly. Every weekday from 12 to 1 is lunch, and this is self-care. Now it's blocked every single day, and I won't typically have something at this time. So I will at least get 1 hour for lunch every single day. I also need to make sure that I have a block of time for copywriting. So it looks like this will be a good copywriting window, and this will be a good copywriting window. So I'll have 4 hours on my copywriting day to do copywriting. So copywriting. So I know what symbol I want to use for that. And this is copywriting. I'm going to mark this as busy, and it'll be copywriting. So it'll be content creation, and then save it. And this is going to repeat weekly on Mondays. So now that time is blocked. I need to also have time where people can meet with me. So I'm going to probably have this window from 2 to 3 for meetings, because I can take meetings from the car or anywhere. So I'm going to do meeting window, and I am going to leave this window open for meetings, and I'm going to mark this as a meeting window so that people can schedule. This will always show as free, but I see it as, Letitia, you won't really be able to get work done, and don't expect to get work done during this hour. Let's do that. And this needs to repeat weekly on Monday. So now I have a meeting window that anybody can book a meeting with me. I'm trying to make sure I give you guys kind of all of my different windows of time. So see, now all of my calendars are syncing up, which is a good thing. Okay, so meeting window. On Wednesdays, I need to also have kind of the same meeting window. So I'm going to do that. Meeting window. I need to schedule my recording time. So that's going to be on Tuesdays. And I want these 2 big blocks for recording. So I am going to give myself this block for recording. And then in this window of time, don't forget that I need to have windows of time where I'm doing admin or having those buffer sessions. I need 2 in a day. So I'm going to do 1 that's going to be a full hour, and then I want to do 1 at the end of the day. So I'm going to have a second one be 4 o'clock. So I need a buffer session. Monday morning, I need 30 minutes to review my progress and what I've done. So I want that to be after I drop Liam off from school. I want to come home and do that. And I want to do that probably right before I leave. Yeah. because then I'll be in a work mood. So I drop Liam off by 7:30, which means I have time to come home and get dressed. I don't like rushing in the morning, so I'm going to do this to be, I only need 30 minutes, 8 to 8:30. And this will be check. This is what I'm doing. We're reviewing my checklist. So this will be a review time and time for me to plan. This is when you time block your whole week. So Mondays is supposed to be when you review what you've gotten done in the previous week, and then time block in those blocks of windows exactly what you're going to do in those windows. Perfect. So I can see all my admin times are these browns. I know that I'm doing content creation on these yellows. I know that personal stuff is this tan. So it's important for me to see these things. I know blue is corporate. By the way, 15 minutes is all you need. I'm doing 30 minutes because I need 30 minutes for my business and 30 minutes for corporate. This big window here is for me to get shit done. I'm gonna do busy. So this is how you plan out and time block your entire week. Okay, I stepped away to make sure that I kind of had everything together, but you see my schedule. So I have time built out to spend time with my child every single day. I have time to do my planning. I have buffer sessions, twice a day, every single day. I have windows of time where people can meet with me. I really do have everything that's necessary on my calendar. I see that I have another window of time. So I'll likely make sure that I use that time for another meeting window, which means people typically will have time to speak with me or space on my calendar where they can meet with me 2 times on, a few days in a week. And I get to focus my energy on what really needs to be done in my business, as well as for corporate. And I also take time for myself. Okay, so this is how my calendar looks. This is what these blocks are gonna look like. So now I know if there's a get shit done window on Mondays when I'm doing my planning, then I will put what I'm going to do in this window of time. Same thing for all of these other windows. I say copywriting on Mondays. I would say what I'm going to do during the copywriting, write the email for this sequence, make the newsletter, do this, do that. That is important for me to make sure that I'm doing this type of stuff and I have designated times and windows to get everything done. See you next time.